Am I audible clearly?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
That's great. So without earphone, I'm audible. That means I don't need my earphone now today. However, I requested the authority to take the class today from home due to some familial circumstances. So I'm here today to take your class. And just beside me, my window is there, so perhaps my face, it doesn't get enough light. Okay. However, and today I'm also recording the class from today, and I will upload the class to your Google Classroom that I opened for you, and I'm giving you the class code and invite link for Google Classroom to your chat box, and also I will provide that to your CRs. Okay. So first of all, yes, Mahir is there. Mahir, right there. If I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Mahir, okay. I will also send to your WhatsApp, and also another CR is Maisha, na? Sorry if I'm wrong. It's just after 15 days we met again. Was it Maisha?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the name was Maisha, right? Thank you. So today, and I'm feeling a bit comfortable that I can use my total voice. Okay, I'm feeling a bit comfortable. So, however, in every situation, we have to adapt ourselves, and there's the smartness, and there's the I mean, what should I, there's the professionalism. Okay, in every situation, we should adapt ourselves, and there is the professionalism, and there is the smartness. So, and that is also related to communication. So how communication works, it needs soft skills. Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Clearer than before? Is it clearer than before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and communication includes all the types of soft skills in one's behavior. Communication includes all types of soft skills. I talked about soft skills perhaps in the first class for one or two sentences, but soft skill is a very important, uh, I mean, ability of a person's life to get a good profession. I mean, get a good position in someone's profession. Okay. So, and soft skill is it is an ongoing process. Okay. Soft skill is an ongoing process, and all the things. Sometimes we have a very good communication. It's like communication skills includes lots of things, but and we can't say that if we are we are expert or adroit in speaking and listening. Okay, we are expert in speaking and listening. If we are expert, we can't say we are good communicator. Okay, because communication requires lots of other things, and that should be in your behavior, in your attitude, and in your expressions even. Okay, could you please excuse me for 30 seconds or 1 minute, please? Okay. I'm feeling sorry that I had to take that earlier, but I think it will be, I mean, better in my camera. However, now it is a 200 power valve. So okay. So however, but as the window is just behind me, so the light doesn't work properly. Okay. So uh, let's talk about a short story. I think I should say a short history. A short history. Okay. Um, however, we were talking about communication and soft skills. Later on, we'll discuss on it more. But before that, we will talk about a short history, not story, but history, and which will be like story. Okay. So, however, first let me check whether we are active. Yes. So let me talk to some people. Okay. So, are you? I mean, did you have the class with our another teacher last week? Yes, you had the class, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and her topic covered what are the things that topic covered? Like listening and speaking issues, or reading and writing issues, or anything else? Can you revise? I mean, recall
About communication and language.
about communication and language. Okay. Okay. So today, first of all, yes, right. There are many other students in this course, but why only 53 have them? Can you tell me? So, or others will join gradually, perhaps, na? Yes.
So the Hindu students uh, uh, cannot join because their occasion is going on.
Right, right. Okay, right. Yes. So, yeah. And it's their big occasion in the year, so they might not be present. Okay, however, uh, so we are going to talk about a short history, I said, and the history is about how English became an academic subject. How English became an academic subject. Okay, because we are studying English and we are dealing with such things, so we have to have some information about how English, the subject, became an academic subject at a university. Okay, how English became an academic subject. So let's talk about that. And for that, I have a very um, specific book, and just there are two passages to discuss from that book. Before that, I'm giving you the class Google Classroom code, okay, to your chat box, Google Classroom code, and the invitation link for that classroom. I was thinking today I would mention the pattern of how we will take the oral tests or take the assessment to you, but as the students are not pretty good in number, so I think I have to change the plan, because that I mean the assessment pattern should be informed to each and everyone. So, I think in the next class we'll discuss on that. So there is the classroom code for you, and also the Google Classroom link, invitation link. Okay. So take that code and link, because people are sending their ID numbers, so it will go behind. Okay. However, let's talk about that issue that I was just mentioning how English became an academic subject. So in ancient time, can you, is there anyone who can tell me in ancient time which languages were popular? Which languages were popular in ancient time?
Greek.
Greek, right? Then others?
Latin.
Latin, right? Greek, Latin, and there was another language. Another language?
Farsi.
Farsi, okay. Farsi, but Greek, Latin, and in I mean, just closer to that area, there is another language which was also very prominent.
Roman.
Roman, right? Roman. Greek, Latin, and Roman, their languages dominated the world. And later, the Persian language, the Persian language, which we call in Bangla Farsi, but Farsi doesn't mean the language of the French people, okay? Farsi doesn't mean the language of the French people. Which country actually belongs to the language, the Persian, or the territory? Can you?
Sir, Iran.
Iran, right? Iran and its associated territories at that time. In last 50 or 60 years, or in last 70 years, okay, the country, the world, I mean, has been divided into several countries. But previously, there were not like so many countries like now. Okay, there were a few countries only, and later, gradually, the first became independent, got the independence from other region, and thus the country number got increased. However, so previously in ancient time, I mean, is my fan sound disturbing you? Is my fans sound disturbing you?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, because uh, I mean, opened two fans today, so for that reason, perhaps I thought that it might disturb you. So Greek, Latin, these two were mostly dominant. Greek and Latin, and also Roman language, Arabic language, and then Persian language, and more previously, I mean, more than 2000 years ago, Hebrew language was also at the time popular. Hebrew, no, if I'm not wrong, the Bible was revealed in Hebrew language. Is it okay on everyone? Yes. Okay. Is it okay? The information Bible was revealed in Hebrew language.
Sir, I don't know, sir.
You know who knows that? Who knows that? Rafi, do you have any idea?
Sir, Armenian.
Armenian. Bible was revealed in Armenian language. Are you sure?
No, sir. Something with A.
Yes.
The language was started with the letter A.
Letter A. So far I know, I would recommend you to know better. So far I know that Hebrew language, I mean, the first edition of Bible, which was revealed from the Almighty, that was in Hebrew language. Okay, it is my general knowledge. So far I know that. Okay, the first edition of Bible was revealed in Hebrew language.
So there are three languages used in Google. One is Greek, another is Biblical Hebrew, and another one is Biblical Aramaic.
Aramaic, okay, but
Hebrew was there.
Aramaic, yes, right. Someone said starting with A, that is Aramaic. I'm watching here, but I think what I knew that Hebrew was the language of that region where the great, I mean, Isa alayhi salam, or the great Jesus, I mean, born. So Hebrew was the language there. So I mean, Bible was revealed in Hebrew, we can say, but I will recommend you to have that specific information, whatever. So previously, previously the Greek language, for very, 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, the Greek language is dominated the world at that time. Actually, language. Do you think language is associated with politics? Do you think language is a political issue?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Can anyone explain how language is a political issue? Can anyone explain how language is a political issue? How politics influences upon language, or how language is influenced by politics?
Language is the medium or mode of communication, and it carries the heart's desire. So if you can influence the language, you can influence the way of people. You can create a sense of authority in people's mind. The one I remember is the first language which nearly reached the status of international language was Persian. But later, when England started creating trade relations and conquering all the world, then they changed it to English, so that people would all have to learn English, and that would create a sense of obedience to the English people.
Okay. Yeah, right. You are, but to some extent, you are completely okay. But let me explain a bit. With some examples. Like in different countries, you'll find scholarships for higher studies. In different, like in Malaysia, their language is Bahasa Malaysia, okay, or Mandarin, okay, or they call it Bahasa Malaysia. I mean, almost closer to Bhasha. And did I say in the last class that so what I was talking about? Bahasa Malaysia. I lost the point. I wanted to tell you a very good point, but I lost it. Yeah, right. I regained. Okay. So did I say in the last class that the language gets a slight change in every after 48 kilometers? Did I say in the last class about this?
Yes, sir.
Did I mention? Yes, language, it receives the change, a shift, okay, a slight change in every after 48 kilometers. So in this way, there are some similarities, okay, and also we receive language from other culture, other society, other territory, other region. So very often we find similarities between languages. So in Malaysia, they call it Bahasa Malaysia. Bhasha Malaysia, like this. There is the Mandarin. And when Malaysia offers the scholarship, or when Malaysia offers a PhD, or MPhil degrees, okay, to other countries' citizens, at that time, those people need to learn their language for the first 6 months, or like for the first year. And they need to have a very, at least a standard point in that course to complete, to advance, or to progress their study further. So why it is so? It is because it is a part of international politics that they want their language to be dominant. Like in Turkey, that is Turushko, we call it, okay, or Turkey, like this. So they also require their language to be learned by the students who usually go to their countries to pursue higher education. Okay, these are the parts of, like in China. In China also, all the medium of instruction. Most of the time they speak in Chinese. Okay, so that's the issue. In fact, that's the issue. So did I utter the word Mandarin for Malaysia? No, perhaps Mandarin for Chinese language. Huh? Anyone have any idea? Mandarin for Chinese language?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mandarin for Chinese language. And Malaysia is Bahasa Malaysia. Yes, Mandarin for Chinese language. Right. Sanskrit. Okay. Yes, Mandarin is a Chinese language. Right. Okay. So in China also, they want their students to learn Chinese, their languages. Okay, to get to get the degree there, to complete the degree there. So in this way, all over the world, like the English people, they can do it the utmost with utmost perfection. So English has become popular. Okay, but others cannot. So it would not happen. And before English, Latin was familiar. Latin was very popular. All the literatures were in Latin. Greek were in Greek, were in Arabic. Okay, and gradually, especially when Geoffrey Chaucer started writing. Do you know this person, Geoffrey Chaucer? Have you ever heard the name of Geoffrey Chaucer? Ever? No? Okay, let me show you. So this is the person Geoffrey Chaucer. Okay, so actually it is a drawn picture. It is because he was born in 1340, 1340, and died in 1400. Okay, so yes, 1340, someone said 1341 to 1400. And this person, when this person started writing, English language started becoming popular. English language started becoming popular. His Geoffrey Chaucer, who is the father of English literature, or the father of English language, and the father of English poetry. So, father of English literature, father of English language, and father of English poetry. Sometimes in BCS exams, you might find this question frequently. It is appeared in the BCS exams or in public, job exams. Okay, so this person, Geoffrey Chaucer, father of English literature, father of English language, and father of English poetry. And after Geoffrey Chaucer, after around 150 years of Geoffrey Chaucer, Mr. Shakespeare was born. I think there is nobody here who did not hear about Shakespeare previously. No? Is there anyone who does not know this person? I believe no. There is nobody who did not ever hear his name. William Shakespeare. When William Shakespeare started writing in 1586, he was born in 1564, and when he became 20, he started writing significantly. And after William Shakespeare, after the reign of William Shakespeare, English, English did not look behind. Okay, English had a great progression, advancement with Shakespeare's literary works. Though at that time Latin was also was the dominant language, Greek was the dominant language, but mainly Latin was dominant. But when Shakespeare wrote, English started gaining a huge popularity, and gradually then lots of people, lots of literary persons who wrote, William Wordsworth, Edmund Spenser, or romantic poets. Then comes the Victorian poets. Then W.B. Yeats and T.S. Eliot, they started writing, and thus English gained the popularity. But how English became the academic subject? Let's talk about that. Cannot minimize. What should I do? So in ancient times, only 2 universities were there in England. Can you gauge the name of those 2 universities? Can you gauge the name of those 2 universities?
Oxford and Cambridge.
Right, Oxford and Cambridge. These 2 universities were only there to get higher education. But unfortunately, though they are very much, they are very much frank and liberal to people we hear, but but at that time they also did not allow the women to take high studies, and also they did not allow different castes to enter into the to enter into the higher education industry. Let me just open it for you. So let's just have this short information, only 2 passages, not more than that, only 2 passages. Let's just discuss on it. So you see, as I was talking about Oxford and Cambridge here, there are only 2 universities, and these are divided into small individual colleges, like the colleges under national universities in our country, okay, which were run like monastic institutions. What does it mean by monastic? Who can define the term monastic? Can you define the term monastic? Anyone? No? Monk. What does it mean? The word monk? সন্ন্যাসী, right? Monk. And monastic means অনেকটা সন্ন্যাসীদের মতো করে তারা সন্ন্যাসী যে আস্তানাগুলো বা সন্ন্যাসীদের যে জায়গাগুলো, the place for the monks or nuns, okay, like religious institutions, they run at that time. The institutions were run like religious institutions. Monasteries are not religious actually, only these monks and nuns, usually in their religion, if I'm not wrong, they're the persons who possess both religious and spiritual views. Okay, religious and spiritual views, and they ran those institutions. Only men could attend them. Only the male persons attended those colleges, because, and also of course those the teachers were also male, and the teachers had to be unmarried also, because the teachers had to live in the college chapel. Okay, and you see here, students had to be Anglican communicants. Only this caste, this community was allowed to enter into the higher education sector. Okay, Anglican communicants. And the teachers were ordained ministers. Teachers were everything. Okay, teacher dominated institutions were there, and had to be unmarried so that they could live in the college, as I said just a while ago. And only few subjects were available. You see here, ancient Greek, as those languages were very much popular at that time. So ancient Greek and Latin literature. Ancient Greek and Latin literature. There, and these 2 combined for the course classics. Okay, they had the course the classics. Okay, and classics included Greek and Latin literature. Then divinity, which was taken by those seeking ordination. Do you understand this term divinity? Sometimes in like in Bangla, for the Hindu religion, or yes, like for Buddhism also. In Buddhism also, you will find that word, uh, similar words. Like in Bangla, it is called Siddhi Labh Kora. Have you ever heard this term, Siddhi Labh or Siddhi Labh Kora? Yes,
Sir,
yes, Siddhi Labh Kora, right? So that is seeking ordination to get someone's soul purified. Okay, to get someone's soul purified through meditation, contemplation, through hard work, okay, through diligence, অধ্যবসায় এবং সাধনার মাধ্যমে কারো নিজেকে পবিত্র করা, নিজেকে সিদ্ধি লাভ করা, right? Like this. So that was the subject, divinity. Okay, that subject was taught at that time, divinity. In Buddhism, it is called nirvana. In English, nirvana, Nirvana, nirvana. Okay, there is in Bangla we call it nirvana love kora. Okay, nirvana. So and in Islam, it perhaps it is the Atma Shuddhi, okay, or Sufism. We call it Sufism in Islam. Okay, so and in Christianity, it is like divinity, to get ordination. Okay, those who seek ordination, and mathematics. Those are the three subjects they taught at that time: classics, divinity, and mathematics. And anyone who was Catholic, Jewish, or Methodist, or atheist was barred from entry. If you were Catholic, you can't have education. If you're Jewish, no entry. Or Methodist, Tattvic, no entry. Or atheist. What does it mean, atheist? Atheist? Yes, Nastic, right? Atheist, Nastic, who doesn't believe in it. The atheist was barred from entry. These people could not enter into the higher education. Okay, and hence, in effect, barred from the professions and the civil service. And they were not even allowed to take the government jobs, okay, or professions. As far as higher education was concerned, then you could say that right up to the 1820s, 1820 পর্যন্ত, the organization of higher education had not changed since the Middle Ages. সেই মধ্যযুগীয় যে কায়দা, মধ্যযুগীয় সেই সিস্টেমটা, 1820, before 1820, it was not changed. After 1820s, 1820 এর দশক যেটা, I mean 1820s, 21 to 30, the higher education started getting changed. And many attempts were made to reform the situation, and at that time to expand higher education and introduce practical subject in the curriculum. So people will not allow. There will be always some groups who will create obstacles to the way to development. All the time there will be a group who will be like I don't know, I mean who they are called actually, I don't know. So but তাদেরকে কি বলা হয় আমি জানি না, like বামপন্থী or right what, I mean I don't know actually. Okay, so there are some people who are like extremists. There are গোড়ামি যারা করে, orthodox. Okay, like in a movie, a dialogue was there for Amitabh Bachchan, मुझे परिवर्तन पसंद नहीं, मुझे किसी तरह की परिवर्तन पसंद नहीं. So he did not like changes, and it should not be, okay, because with times everything changes. So we have to accept the positive change for the development of the country and also the life of the people. Okay, so there are always one or two groups to create obstacles, and also there are always groups of intellectuals who always think to advance the country, who always thinks to progress, things to develop, improve the situation. Okay, and they were always in research how to expand higher education, how to spread this to the common people and how to develop the skills of people. So for that reason, they started thinking about introducing the practical subjects into the curriculum. And if without having the practical subjects, no curricula can be successful without having practical subjects. Okay, and they all came up against entrenched conservative forces. That I said, conservative. This word I was looking for. Conservative. I used I used extremists, or I used the word orthodox, which are very synonymous to conservative. Conservative. They don't like changes. No, my forefathers, they did that like this way, so I will also do this in the same way. But it should not be happened. Okay, it should not be, because we have to accept the changes. So then the breakthrough came in 1826. Breakthrough came in 1826 when a university college was founded in London. A university college was founded in London with a charter to award degrees to men and women of all religions or none. In 1826, a university college was founded in London. A university college, and that college allowed people from all religions, or those people who do not have any religion, that all people can study here. In 1826, the breakthrough came like this way. And from 1828, English was offered as a subject for study. So we were seeking for this information. In 1828, the story is not that much, I mean, ancient as we thought. In 1820, only in 1820, less than 200 years, English was offered as a subject for study. And they appointed the first English professor of English in 1829. However, it was not really English as we know it, and it was mainly the study of English language. So the English that we find today was not, this English was not that place, because that time English was influenced by Latin and Greek, and their languages were a bit different. Like we say does, D-O-E-S, does. At that time that was called dot, D-O-T-H, in this way. Or now we use you for to me. Okay, at that time they use thou, T-H-O-U, thou. Okay, thou art is beautiful. তোমার যে শিল্পকলা, তোমার যে কলাকুশলী খুব সুন্দর, like this. Okay, thou, they call it. And we use and in Bangla we use tui na, for I mean, especially for the closer family persons, we sometimes use the word tui, or to the friends also we use tui. At that time it was dai, T-H-Y, dai, and there were lots of T-H influence at the time, and also different others changes. So English was I mean, in that form, not in like today's form at that time. So in 1829, first English professor was appointed. However, it was not really English as we know it, and it was mainly the study of English language, merely using literature as a source of linguistic examples. Okay, literature was not used that much. Literature was used as a source of examples, and English literature as such was first taught at King's College, London. And after that, English literature also was included, and it was first taught at King's College, London, and this college was later became the famous London University, beginning in 1831. King's College of London, it became the London University later on in 1831. And in 1840, F.D. Morris was appointed as a professor at King's. F.D. Morris was appointed as a professor of King's. And in this way. In this way, is English started its journey to the time when we are in the class and discussing about their history and story. Okay, in this, so there were several key information we found yesterday. So, and that's all for the history of how English became an academic subject. So, may I have any volunteer who can summarize this information? Is it possible to summarize the information? Yes, is it possible to summarize the information? Who can summarize that information? Nobody? Nobody will summarize? The class is in passive mode. That I'm only talking about something. Ashrarul Haq Sifat. Ashrar.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you try to summarize the information that I said? No?
Maybe I cannot, sir.
You can't? Okay. Who can? Who can? I will help. Is there anyone who can summarize the information? Rubaba? Yes, the name is Rubaba. Rubaba, can you volunteer?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Can you volunteer?
Sir,
I can help, no problem. But yes.
sir, you first try to make us understand why English was added in our curriculum or academics. From the first, before English, there was some language which was more prominent and like Latin, Greek, Roman, and then Farsi came. Then they through the time, through the process, then English was introduced to the world by the one of the poet named sir, I forgot the name. Like
Geoffrey Chaucer.
yes, sir. Then sir, after 150 years of his time, William Shakespeare came and he made a huge improvement in the English literature. And sir, you tried to make us understand that why, other than English, many of the countries sir, what I can
Okay,
say.
no problem. Just the history of how English became an academic subject. Just try on that part.
Sir, because sir, English, as English, the British Empire was very much powerful, sir. It used to rule most of the world at one point, sir. So that's why there was a huge impact on English. There was a huge impact of English on the countries they rule, sir. So so that's why many countries got independent now, but that impact, that rule, that reign made the English more prominent, sir.
Okay. The history cannot be summarized. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Aslam, sir.
Yes. The history is, I mean, what was the college name that allowed all people to study in the higher education level? What was the name of that college? Anyone? Can anyone remember? Recall? What was the name of that college that was founded in 1828?
It
1826.
was located in London.
Is located in London. Okay. What was the college name? It's an interesting name, actually. There was no specific name to recall, but that is actually the name. That is University College of London. Huh? Have you ever heard about this university, UCL? Have you ever heard about this university, UCL?
Yes, sir.
UCL? Do you know that it is a university? UCL, University College London. Do you know that it is one of the most prestigious universities in the world? Do you know that? You don't have that idea?
Sir.
Let me just show you. If you don't have that idea, let me just show you, because many people do not understand this term, because as the name of that institution is University College London. The name of that institution is University College London. That is UCL. It is founded in 1826. I said. Can you remember? University College London. This university first allowed all people to study in the higher education sector. Okay. Have you understood my words? Yeah, and do you know that this university, how this university impacted over the world? Do you want to see that information? Let me show you. Let me show you the 2022 ranking of the universities. It is in England. That means you. Okay. United Kingdom. You see, I selected United Kingdom here. This is the best and mostly recognized international ranking system. That is Times Higher Education ranking system. You see here, University College London is in the 18th place in the world's amongst the world's universities. Many people do not understand that it is a university because its name is UCL, University College London. But it is a university and it is in the 18th position amongst the world according to Times Higher Education. 18th. Just imagine how it impacted upon the world. Okay, and there are 57% international students are studying here at UCL. It's so much prestigious institution. And that King's College London, we talked about King's College London, where English literature was first taught. That is in the 35th place. Okay, so these were the universities of that time and have been so much successful with time. So however, that was the short history of English. That is the short history of English. Now we are moving to our today's other lessons, which is communication related issues. Perhaps you talked about, I heard from madam that she talked about communication. Today I'm also having a short slide on communication. Okay, a short slide. How your communication should be and why is communication and what are the types of communication like this. So did Sabrina madam talked about these types of communication and other things, or a generalized idea about the overall topic? Mahir and Maisha, can you help me? You can't hear me, Mahir?
Hello, sir.
Yes, can't you hear me?
Yes, sir. My network is not enough good. So
Okay.
sometimes.
No problem. We have to. We should adapt ourselves all the situations, because we we are living with lots of difficulties in the world. We're living with lots of difficulties. We must adapt everything. We don't mind if anyone's network is in trouble. I don't mind. Actually, in fact, I don't mind. Okay, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and for that reason, very often when I'm having the answers or replies from you, uh, anyone from you, perhaps I don't have the proper connection all the time, but we have to make the balance, and that is your professionalism, that is your smartness. We have to always, we have to keep the balance, okay, with the situations. However, let's talk about communication in short. In fact, we all know what is communication, we all know that, but let me just show you a few slides, and I hope you will have at least one or two more information about communication and some ideas that you do not actually associated with, familiar with. Okay, you are not familiar with. Okay, so first of all, you see here the definition of communication is there, and there are three types of definition here. So this communication is simply the act of transferring information. I'm not discussing that because these are easy things. And communication is a process of sending and receiving messages to share meanings. To share meanings. Communication is a process of sending and receiving messages. So you communicate, but if it doesn't convey a meaning, that is not communication. Your communication must have meanings. Okay. And communication is the process of exchanging information in the form of messages, symbols, thoughts, signs, and opinions. Now let's move on to the next slides. All the things are combined here in one single definition, and you all are smart enough to understand these things. We are not going to deal with this. So what are the features of communication? Let me just remind you. I believe you know that. I'm reminding you the features. Your communication, while you are communicating with anyone, you have to be clear and adequately concise. You should not unnecessarily elaborate your words or sentences, and you have to have an accurate plan of objectives. You have to have an accurate plan of objectives, why you are communicating. Then your message should be reliable, and you have to know the purpose of the message, and you should get the proper feedback. If you do not have the feedback, your communication is not successful. Okay, and there is a good point, feedback. Why feedback is important? When you are a public speaker, if your audiences do not respond, if your audiences do not talk to you, do not answer your queries, your questions, then you have to think that you should change your speaking style or your session conducting pattern. You have to think, you have to rethink or reconsider your capabilities and abilities to engage the audience. So you have to grab their feedback. You have to compel them to give you feedback. Okay. So, and in this way, someone can be a good speaker, good communicator. Then correct timing. So timing is very important. Timing. When you should say. You're going to take leave from your boss, from your superior authority. You must understand, which time should you talk to your boss? Should you talk to your immediate authority? Okay, there is a sense of timing. Okay, and you have to always look for the appropriate situation um, to present your queries, to present your issues before the person, before your boss, when he or she is in a convenient mood, in a good mood. Okay, so that is correct timing, and use a proper medium to convey the message. Which medium? Whether it is in Zoom, it is our phone, or it is a face-to-face communication. You have to communicate, thinking about the time, place, setting, action, all the things we have to consider yourself. So there are 4 types of communication: spoken or verbal, non-verbal, written, and visual. Visualization or visual communication. Spoken and verbal, we talk, we use our voice, that is spoken or verbal communication. We talk with meaningful words. Non-verbal communication with symbols, thoughts, signs, gesture, posture. Okay, gesture, posture. These are non-verbal communication. Eye contact, how you look, how you approach, how you use your face and hands, all the things. How you use, how you walk, how you run, all the things convey some meanings, convey some information to people. Okay, how you behave, that is non-verbal communication. Written communication, letter writing, email writing, application writing, lots of things there are. Okay, written communication, memo writing. Okay, and visualization, you watch TV, you watch projector. Sometimes the teachers use projector, and you are watching these slides at your home, in your mobile phone, or on your laptop. You're watching this. These are visual communication. But the most important part is this slide. We have to understand the first two terms. Intrapersonal communication, intrapersonal communication, and interpersonal communication. So what is the difference between these two terms? Who can define, who can give some information about these two terms? Intrapersonal communication and interpersonal communication. Can anyone explain this term? Nobody? Any idea?
Personal is communicating with themselves, and interpersonal is communicating with
Others.
other people.
Others, right? Okay, good. So intrapersonal communication and interpersonal. Many people do not, might not know the difference of these two terms. Let me just give another example from these two terms: intrapersonal communication, like very often you might attend different competition or tournament. Okay, in sports or different competition, like debate competition or art competition. Intra-university, if I say intra-university debate competition, that means what? Intra-university debate competition, what does that mean?
A competition among the students of that university.
Among the students of the same university.
Same university.
Yeah. Right. For example, a team from EWCE, a team from EECE, a team from CSE, or chemical engineering, or like from different departments, the teams are coming. But when it is inter-university debate competition, inter-university, then MIST is there, BUP is there, Dhaka University is there. Okay, North-South University is there. Okay, Stanford is there. Inter-university. Okay, so an intra means the teams from the same university. So like here, likewise, intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication, that means you will talk to yourself. You will talk to yourself. That is intrapersonal communication. And interpersonal communication, you talk to others. Okay, there is small group communication like in board meetings and group study. Sometimes you people study in groups. There is group study. Okay, these are small group communication. And then public communication. To attend a concert or the celebrities, sometimes when the celebrities appear before the public, or when a Nobel laureate person or a big star, a big scientist, or a political person go to some university and have a what should I say, convocation and be a convocation speaker. Okay, these are public communication, or like in our, what should I use what should I say for the word huju in English? Can anyone help me? We can say religious persons, but is there any specific word for huju? Okay, whatever. Sometimes we find there are waz mahfils, nah? The hujus, they conduct waz mahfils. Those are also public communication. Okay, those are also public communication. So, and also the seminars, the conferences. Okay, these are public communication. So it is intrapersonal communication. Someone is meditating, or I don't know whether she is practicing yoga or in prayer. I don't know. I just collected the photo on the internet. So this intrapersonal communication, communicate with oneself. Okay, or the prayer, the communication with God is to some extent kind of intrapersonal communication, because we don't communicate visually, we don't communicate to anyone. You communicate to someone who resides in our heart, who resides in our soul, in our heart. Okay, because God resides in our heart. Almighty resides in our hearts. Okay, that is intrapersonal communication. Then interpersonal communication. Two persons are in a coffee shop. Have a coffee. Welcome to our coffee shop. Yes, right. They are in a coffee shop and they are talking to each other. So about what do we have now? Okay. So this is a confusing picture. This picture also, this picture simultaneously symbolizes both intrapersonal communication and interpersonal communication. So I'm showing this picture from interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication part, but what I think, this picture has some intrapersonal communication also. Do you know that? Do you understand that? What I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Can anyone explain why this is so? Can anyone explain why is it so? That
Because sir, they are thinking about something.
They're thinking about something. Yes, and someone else was also trying to talk. Yes, someone else was trying to talk. I did not find the name.
I was talking the same.
Yes, Raba, right? Okay, Raba. Oh, you are talking the same. You said you are talking the same. Okay, okay. You see, perhaps this girl asked for the Facebook password to, from that boy, perhaps. And after that, uh, they got this communication gap and becomes and find the interpersonal. I mean, they are falling in the situation of intrapersonal communication. Okay, so however, so it is interesting, and then it doesn't move. Okay, and this is a small group communication. A small group communication. This boss is a bit more frank than someone others. Okay, they are studying. Okay, so they are studying about a project. They are dealing with a project, and perhaps it is the situation after a meeting. Okay, or there might be a friendly project discussion. Okay, and also it is easily understandable that they all are professionals, the students. This is public communication, as I said, public communication. Who this person was, or who this person is. Yes, who the person is.
James.
Hmm? Is it so?
Ayub Bachu.
Right, Ayub Bachu. The great Ayub Bachu. Okay, the great Ayub Bachu, especially those people who found the 90s. Okay, I mean with intellect. Those who were children, not for them, who were quite children, not for them, but who were young, who were in the teenagers even. They know how popular Mr. Ayub Bachu was at the time. So this is another public. Who this person is? What is the name of this person? Yes, what is the name of this person? You don't study international things. Who is this person? Nobody knows. Nobody knows this person. Yes, Jarif, I can't hear you.
No, sir.
Zarif. Yes, you don't know Zarif, or you said the name.
I don't know, sir.
You don't know. Okay. Anyone? I mean, from the 60 students, nobody knows this great person. Or you don't want to talk to me. What is the issue actually? Tahsina Rahman, are you active? Tahsina Rahman. Yes. Am I audible? Mahir? I'm calling Miss Tahsina.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but Tahsina is not responding. Okay. Okay. Whom should I ask? Okay, Mr. Captain Imtiaz, can you hear me? You don't know this person also? Okay. Nobody? I mean, I'm confused whether you are hearing me or not, because At least,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Yes, please.
Sir, he was the president of Malaysia, sir.
Malaysia, right? He was the president of Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, right. He was the president of Malaysia. His name is Mr. Mahathir Mohamad, the great Mahathir Mohamad, who ruled over Malaysia for 22 years with democracy. And he was the pioneer. He was the torch bearer of Malaysian development in all the sectors. He was the person who developed Malaysia, Mr. Mahathir Mohamad. Okay. So he is in a convocation, we are understanding here. And he also came to Bangladesh for as a convocation speaker at University of Information Technology and Sciences, UITS. Okay. How about this is a public communication. Then what we have, okay, why we communicate? For relationships, for information, developing thoughts, to persuade others, for entertainment, just for fun, and routine. Routine communication, we need to communicate, so we communicate. That is the reason. And a competent communicator should have some capability or ability, like he or she must communicate with others properly and sufficiently, not too much and not that much, not that less. Okay, a competent communicator. And he is normally qualified or fit to speak to the audiences. He is normally qualified and fit to speak to the audiences, and he has sufficient skill to pass on information. So these are very, common things. Thank you very much for this session. We are moving to our next slide. I was wondering that how I conducted the session about the test patterns, but as the presence of the students are not satisfactory today, so I'm not dealing with that part. Hopefully in the next class I will deal with that part. Now we understand verbal communication. We understand verbal communication. Now let's discuss about non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication, okay? Today you are in rest, okay? Because I'm not asking you questions like the previous class, but I will very soon again, because some classes are required to be passive to let you understand some theoretical aspects. So in those cases, the class becomes passive, okay, not interactive. So non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. What are the aspects of non-verbal communication? What is the significance of non-verbal communication, or the importance, or the related issues we learn now? Okay. So okay, it is why it is not moving. Is the non-verbal communication without words? Communication without words. Communication by means of space. Sometimes the space also communicates a lot. And gestures. Gestures means what? Gestures means what? Gestures. Gestures.
The movement of body.
Movement of body, or a bit different. Then what is meant by posture? If we say gesture is movement of body, then what do we mean by posture? Posture. Okay, let me explain. Gesture. It is the movement of your head and hands predominant. It is the movements of body, it's okay, but gesture includes the movements of hands. Hi, that is gesture. Hi, tata. Okay, like this, actor, you know this word. Okay, like this, actor chot kind of like this is very often find many people. Okay, in this way. So I will slap you in this way. No, the gesture or tata or just okay. I'll knock you out. Okay, gushi dibo. ব্যাপারটা এরকম। Okay, so these are movements with hands and the heads. Okay, that means the facial expressions are also included in gesture. The facial expressions are also included in gesture. Okay, then touching. Touch is a very strong, powerful communication. Vocal variation. How you create varieties of your voice, vocal sounds. Like you'll find a clip in YouTube of Mr. Amir Khan. You'll find a small clip of PK movie. PK. Have you watched that movie, PK?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's a good movie.
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
It's a very good movie. So you'll find a clip there in YouTube and also in Facebook. This clip is available. Amir Khan utters the word acha. Acha in different ways. Acha, 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 like this, and with expressions. There are several types of acha. So the same word, but the pitch and tone of your vocal sounds of your voice changes. That is the vocal variation. Okay. However, do you know that this acha, the word acha is an English word? Do you know that? The word acha is an English word. Do you know that?
No,
Yes?
sir.
No? Acha is an English word. Acha is not only a Bengali word now. It has been, perhaps Amir Khan contributed a lot. Okay. Amir Khan contributed a lot. Just search for it in Google. Acha, A-C-C-H-A, acha. It will appear like an English word derived from Indian Bengali version, because most of the time the Western people, American people, whatever we talk in this country, they thought that the Bengali language is only in India. Okay, many people think this. And so they wrote it like in Indian. Let me try. Let me show you. Okay. Acha is an English word. It is no more a Bengali word. You see, it is completely an English word now. Here it is. Here you go. Acha. The Cambridge University, the Cambridge Dictionary has recognized the word acha as an English word. That is exclamation. Okay. And the origin is Indian. Acha. That is used to express agreement or understanding. I said, acha, let us go. Acha, let us go. Right? It's interesting. Huh? And used to express an emotion such as surprise, doubt, joy, etc. Surprise, doubt, acha, like this. Okay. Acha, doubt. আচ্ছা তাহলে তুমি সে গেছিলা না ওকে okay so আচ্ছা that's a variation of vocal sounds, you know. Okay, used to express an emotion such as surprise, doubt and joy. Huh? So used to express an emotion such as surprise, doubt and joy. Okay, acha acha acha, this place is so beautiful, this place is so beautiful. Okay, so let me share that again. Okay, so we are in this slide that facial expression, touching, vocal variation, and silence. So you got a good information, na? Acha has become an English word, and there is another word. I convey this to my uh, learners all the time, but I forgot that word which was included. Okay, there is another word that was also included in English very recently, which was a Bengali word actually. Okay, so and silence. Silence is a very strong, powerful non-verbal communication. If you do not talk to anyone, so only he or she knows how it hurts. Okay, so that is a very strong, powerful communication. Or like in different natural setting, sometimes we find peace in silence. In different natural setting, huh? Sometimes we find peace in silence. Okay. So the most important thing in communication is hearing what is not said. Very important. You see, Peter Drucker, he said the most important thing in communication is hearing what is not said. The most important thing in communication is hearing what is not said. What is not said? What is not conveyed? What is not expressed in words? But you must understand those. Sometimes you need to understand the language of eyes and also the silence of someone who wants to convey something but can't say. It varies. I mean, situation to situation, but it happens. Why nonverbal communication matters? Why nonverbal communication is so significant? The way you listen, look, move, and react tells the other person whether or not you care. The way you listen, how you look, how you move, and react tells the other person whether or not you care. If you are being truthful and how well you are listening, if you are truthful, it can easily be understood whether you are listening to someone or not. And your nonverbal signals, when match up with your words, then your communication becomes strong. When your nonverbal signals match up with the words, when your nonverbal signals match up with the words, okay, with the words, when your nonverbal signal match up with the words you are saying, then it increases trust, clarity, and rapport. So when they don't, they generate tension, mistrust, and confusion. When they don't, they generate tension, mistrust, and confusion. Okay. So sometimes we make fun of some gesture, like uh, when we are when someone is making fun of something, and to whom he was making that fun, he is also satisfied with that issue, then he can just have a pat upon the back of that person, ah, or can be feeling shy. ah. So but with the same gesture like this, it can be a what should I say, it can be an aggressive movement, to hit someone or to slap someone, or it can be a movement of a soft pat. Good. Okay. Ja korli, like praising someone, the non-verbal communication requires a face-to-face class, then I can act. Okay. So okay, non-verbal communication requires a face-to-face class, in fact. So however, so when your non-verbal communication I mean, when your non-verbal communication becomes strong, in that time, when your gesture, postures, and your words match up with each other, then the non-verbal communication becomes strong. Then types of non-verbal communication. Types of non-verbal communication. Okay. So there are a few types like kinesics. In kinesics, there are gestures, posture, and eye contact. Then touch. Touch means haptics. Actually, it comes twice. Touch, haptics. Touch, haptics. Touch. The haptics means touch. Okay, and then sound, then space and voice, paralanguage, voice, like that. That part, acha. So to change the pitch and tone of the sound, tone of the words, tone of the vocal sounds, to change the pitch and tone of the vocal sounds. Okay. So, okay, soft reminder for you. Please send your ID numbers in the chat box if you have not yet, so that I can gather the information of your attendance after the class. Okay. And also both of the CRs, you are also requested to check the things, so that if I am in any trouble, I can ask you and remove my confusion or queries, please. Okay. Now gesture, what is gesture? The facial expressions for happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, and disgust are the same across cultures. Across cultures, these are almost similar in all the cultures. Okay. Okay, so the facial expressions for happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, and disgust are the same across cultures. So, and these facial expressions communicate a lot. And emblems, protiki chinna, protiki, symbols, emblems. Emblems are limited by both time and culture. These are again limited. For example, this thumbs up in our country, like if you do this, okay, thumbs up, sometimes it also means like kochu, no? Sometimes people use it for kochu to say to express something downward, okay, to make someone down, okay, that you are bhua, like this, okay, fraud or fraudulent or fake, that is. Okay. So these are emblems, and but this is actually means all right in another culture. In our country also this means all right, but sometimes many people may not understand that emblem. And also there are two other emblems, one expressing the perfection or beauty, or another expressing the victory sign. That is emblems. So posture, posture what? I say, someone said the body movements. This posture is the body movements actually. This posture is the body movements. Okay. For example, first one is slumped posture. Slumped posture. Slumped means slumped down. Like just you are tired, fatigued, exhausted, down. Okay. That is slumped posture. Low spirit, it shows low spirits. And erect posture, if you are energetic, there is erect posture, high spirits, energy and confidence. Lean forward, yes, that is open and interested. Lean forward, সামনের দিকে ঝোঁকা. Lean forward, open and interested. And lean away, defensive. I'm not interested to hearing you. You say, but whether I will consider that or whether I will take it for granted, I don't know. Okay, like lean away, not interested or disinterested, defensive. Crossed arms, if I like this, crossed arms, defensive. Yes, you say, I'm hearing, I'm not executing what you are saying. Okay, I'm not going to execute, I'm not going to implement what you are saying. That is crossed arms, defensive. And uncrossed arms, willingness to listen. Uncrossed arms, like the hands are free. Yes, willingness to listen. And hands on hips, impatience. When we become impatient, we keep our hands on both sides of hips. Okay, so that is impatient. Okay, then functions of eye contact. Eye contact is monitored feedback, secure attention. We know this, you know very well what are the functions of eye contact. Just let me show you some pictures. The most powerful eye contact, baby with mom, this is the most powerful eye contact. Baby with mom. And eye contact too is a kind of romantic eye contact. I see. Okay, effective eye contact. Both of the persons know the eye contact, and that is the effective eye contact. Okay. Good eye contact. Eyes to eyes speaking. This is the most powerful communication gesture, I should say. Most powerful communication gesture with two powerful people. Okay. So good eye contact. Face to face speaking. When you speak to someone, if you are face to face, and then must keep the balance of your eye contact. It will create trust, clarity. It will create enthusiasm, and I mean, it will be, and it will also give you confidence more to speak others. Okay. They like after that, bad eye contact. Someone is looking at others, but he's in other thoughts, or he's perhaps pressing his mobile phones. I don't know. But this is bad eye contact. There's sometimes proxemics, closeness or personal space. Proxemics, closeness or personal space. Like in our country, we keep distance as per the relationships. While communicating, we keep distance as per the relationships. In this way, there are some other countries where these are actually the conventions or the customs. In our country, there is not the official customs or conventions, but in their country, these are almost official. They even very often they even measure the distance. Okay, it is the distance of some European countries. Intimate distance, actual touching to 6 to 18 inches. That shows intimate distance. Then personal distance 18 inches to 4 feet. Personal distance 18 inches to 4 feet. Social distance 4 to 12 feet. And public distance 12 to 25 feet. Okay, and these are some distances, and it is also called proxemics. Proxemics in nonverbal communication. So in nonverbal communication, the culture is important. In many cultures, perhaps this male person is a Muslim one, so that and might be from Turkey or some other Islamic countries. So he is not interested to shake hands. Okay, so this is a type of non-verbal communication. Okay, but shaking hands is also a symbol of trust, I should say. Shaking hands, a symbol of trust, or sometimes also a symbol of betrayal. Sometimes someone might shake hands, but for betraying. Okay. Haptics, that is touch. I talked about touch. The study of touch as a means of non-verbal communication, the most primitive form of communication, because previously there was no language. So touch was the predominant means of communication. Touch. And touch includes positive emotions, playfulness, control, ritualistic, and task-related issues. So haptics, that is touch. Okay. So voice, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Voice, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. So your speaking style is important. Only you can speak, you can use English a lot. You can use English like the British people. But how you use it, how you are delivering your words, and how your expression is while you are speaking English is important. Okay, or whether it is in English or in Bangla, well, because we are discussing about communication skills, not English skills. So, and is after one class of mine, we'll go for some, marking related issues. Okay, no problem. And we'll start the assessment issues partly, for example, in segments, and so that it can be supportive to you. It can help you. Okay. So when we speak, other people read our voices in addition to listening to our words. Other people read our voices. This read doesn't mean to study. Read doesn't mean pora. This read means to understand, to realize our voices in addition to listening to our words. In addition to listening to our words. And things they pay attention to include your timing and pace. How is your timing while you are speaking, and the pace, the motion, the pace, the speed, in what speed you are speaking to, and how loud you speak, your tone and inflection, and sounds that convey understanding, such as ah and aha. Think about how someone's tone of voice, for example, can indicate sarcasm, anger, affection, or confidence, because our voice can show lots of things. And paralanguage means that change of pitch and tone. And the silence in nature. gives us peace. The silence in nature, it gives us peace. Huh? It gives us peace, silence. And silence is a great means of communication. And that's all for nonverbal communication issue. And okay. So as I told previously that I will provide you some materials. Today I will upload today's class and also several slides. Okay, several slides for today's slides and also the slides for other classes. I will upload some slides on your Google Classroom, and I have already given you the classroom code and invitation link. Those who joined later, I'm sending for them again in your chat box, okay, so that everyone can join the Google Classroom and have all the information. And I will upload all the slides in PDF forms, and I will also upload few books which will be very much supportive for you. It may take a while, but today I will upload some, and later gradually I will upload more. And also I will suggest some YouTube channels for you I'll suggest some YouTube channels for you to understand the IELTS related issues. So IELTS related issues, and it is very good that I found that MIT has some policies for IELTS preparation. I don't know how it is implemented, but I found in their curricula and also in their website, university's website. Okay, so and also I found our honorable head of the department. He also emphasized on the, on the IELTS skills or IELTS test. Okay, you have to have a good score in IELTS. At least 7 or more than 7 is pretty good. Okay, and if it is less than 7, then try to sit for the exams again. Okay, if it is less than 7, because in near future IELTS will be required in different jobs. In different job sectors, IELTS will be a mandatory issue in near future. Okay, already I found many institutions who require IELTS for their employees. Okay, and IELTS, whether someone is a very good speaker, he or she may not got a good figure in IELTS, good score in IELTS. Okay, whether someone is very much good writer, he or she may not secure a good point in IELTS. Okay, so IELTS is a bit different issue, though things are almost familiar to us, but still we are not having a good point in IELTS in our country. Most of the people are not having good points. It is very tough for us to cross 6 and to get 6 in all the bands. I mean, in Bangladesh context, I believe many of you will get more than 7 even. But in Bangladesh context, as a whole, most of the people do not get 6 in all the skills. Okay, 6 is a pretty good score in IELTS. At least, I mean, a standard. I should not say pretty good. Pretty good is 7, but 6 is at least a standard. That yes, he or she can be, eligible for communication in any country of the world. Okay, and very often some teachers in some countries, in some like a person from Brunei, the country just into Malaysia, Brunei. there was a professor, Fan Li Ha. Fan Li Ha. And Fan Li Ha and some of her followers, the female professor, they do not like English language and their development. They do not like communicative language teaching, CLT. They call it a political method of language teaching, communicative language teaching. But we should not consider these things as political issue, because we can't introduce any method to learn English better. Noam Chomsky, the American person, the American linguist, the legendary linguist, Noam Chomsky, he invented CLT, communicative language teaching. And the persons like Fan Li Ha is a very big professor, but she and her followers, they disgraced CLT's development, communicative language teaching development. In the EFL context, like in Bangladesh, or like in the South Asian countries, we are not that much expert in English. We know a lot of English. We study a lot of English, but still there are lots of loopholes to recover. Okay. So it is for why? This is for that reason that some teachers always neglected English since the independence of the country. Okay, and some people were orthodox that no English will be there. Only Bengali will be the official language. Only Bengali will be the language for all the places. But ultimately, what happens? We had to receive English. We had to accept English for international communication. But in the meantime, we lagged behind. When the Act, Bangla Procholon Ain, of 1888, perhaps, 1988, 1988 সালে Bangla Procholon Ain, when that Ain, that law was passed, then the laws was titled as Bangla Procholon Ain. Okay, as the English was getting a bit popularity among the people, then some so-called conservative intellectuals, they stopped the progression of English in 1988 and it started everything in Bengali. What happened? It happens that I have secured 3 master degrees from 3 different universities, and a very strong and having a strong writing skills. So because by the grace of the Almighty, I have research publications in the highest and most prestigious databases in the world. So, but still, I find myself less confident to use English in different places. Why? Because from the beginning of our childhood, from the beginning of our early education, English has not been the influential issue for us. We always got fear. We found it scary, and English was like it is the context of EFL context. English is a foreign language in our country, and most people are scared of it. Very often, I found many teachers, as I'm a researcher, and you'll be surprised to hear that through me, more than 200 research papers are published. I have been published, have already been published around the world, in our country, nationally and internationally. More than 200 research papers have been published through me, through my collaboration. As I have a farm, I told you perhaps in previous class, I have a research farm. But still, I found myself very much less confident very often. Okay, because I find lots of teachers in our country even they are not concerned about their English studies, and they're not, most of the time, all the teachers are syllabus oriented. What is in the syllabus, I have to complete the syllabus in the class, and that's my job, I will take the money. But the practical skills and the informative, okay, these things are not conveyed to the students. Practical skills, okay, and the hands-on activities are not found in our schools and colleges. So that what happens, we studied a lot, okay, we practiced a lot, we studied a lot, we worked a lot on it, we have hardworking, but still we can't have that sufficient skill of communication in English language, and it is unfortunate for us. However, now is the time to change the situation, and of course, in last 3 decades, if English was popular, if English was used in last 3 decades more, I mean, with more concentration, okay, perhaps today we would be in a different situation. We might be a developed nation, because when English, when many of our, many of our engineers, many of our doctors, many of our technical students, those who are not from general subjects, who studies the technical subjects, okay, they are very much expert, adroit, they're very much hardworking, okay, and thought-provoking, and also they have good sense of making things, good sense of dealing with those things, dealing in their professions. But due to the lack of English skills, they are deprived. They become deprived of many things. They are deprived of many desired things, and which is very unfortunate. And they could contribute a lot to the country's development, but they cannot, because the English is still, English is a I mean, it is a subject only in our country. It is not a subject to deal with. It is not an issue to deal with. It is not an issue to discuss on hands-on activities. What it is good that MIT is doing, is having such English sessional courses. Very few universities in our country have English sessional courses. Yes, there are lots of English courses. All are theoretical. All are grammar based. All are just, syllabus oriented issues. No practical issues. No communication related. Very few in universities in our country have practical aspects of communication skills in English language. Okay, around 200 universities, closer to 200 universities, private and public and honors colleges, lots of university level institutions in our country. But I'm afraid that 80% of the institutions perhaps do not possess a language lab. 80% of the institutions do not possess a language. Okay. Then how come we can improve ourselves? So, however, still, as the YouTube has become so much popular, as there are lots of learning resources on the internet, we can't now blame the other people, the previous people who said all the things for us. Okay, because all the we have the internet facility, we can have that access to download different study materials. Okay, so we should practice from those resources. However, our time has ended up actually over. And hopefully in the next class, I will directly deal with the assessment issue. And in the last semester, it gave me a pain to assess, because within a very short span of time, I had to assess the students. So in this semester, I will give you all the directions in the next class, in my next class, and I will also communicate with Sabrina Miss, okay, so that we can start the assessment pattern from the next month, okay, and just after 2 classes, we will start the assessment things. And what can be the assessment issue actually? What can be the assessment issue? Okay, you all are familiar with the 4 skills of English: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And there will be some activities about those. Okay, so hopefully, inshallah, you all will be able to cope up the situation, cope up with all the situations that will appear in future, and I will be as far as possible cooperative for you, inshallah. Okay, so thank you very much. And if anyone has any issue, any problem, any conflict, any confusion, okay, or need any leave, from attending the class, must inform me. You can have my number from Mahir or Maisha, so you can inform me. I will be as much possible to be cooperative. Okay, thank you very much for the time being, and hopefully there is no question for me today. If you have any question, you can ask me, please. Yes.